She sat down with Jewish Insider? Oh my God. First nugget from the interview, drawing a red line. Oh, dude. Okay, so she's literally getting the AIPAC boost. Jewish Insider is a mouthpiece for the state of Israel. Mallory McMorrow is leaning into the state of Israel's aid to attack Abdul el-Sayed. This is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. What is this? Trump signing executive order to pay TSA employees. Oh, good. We are so far past that we're going to throw them in camps being new. America's saying that about anyone who passes Latino, Latina, anyone black without an American accent, trans people, protesters who are black. Poland is doing it to general migrants. Germany will not do it to general migrants. Israel's obviously mid-Arab, etc. We're so past the, hey guys, they might start rounding people up. I know. But it's Western countries doing it, so we just think it's normal and good. And if a foreign adversary does even a fraction of what we are doing, right? Like not even a, like the example I always give is this. America will literally blow up fishing boats off the coastline of Venezuela, 30 at a time. But then we'll have the audacity to turn around and be like, you see the Chinese Navy spraying Filipino boats with water? Like as though these things are equivalent. Same with the Ansar Allah movement. After October 7 begins, Israel starts in the Palestinian population. The Ansar Allah movement says, we are going to institute a blockade. Okay, we're going to institute a blockade. What is this?
When we're seeing here.
The moment Syed Mohammed Morandi experienced a carpet just meters away while speaking with Sneeko.
The religious regime is covering up for Epstein. It seems like that's what is backwards of the two nations at war.
Did you hear that huge explosion just now? Rolling explosions. That's carpet. It's called carpet. But in any case. But yeah, sorry for interrupting you. But
no, you didn't. That's and
I wouldn't acknowledge it if I was him. That's giving away his position. But calling it now, he's about to convert in disgust. What? 2 billion Muslims, yet Shia Muslims led by Iran are the only ones confronting Israel. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's going to go from Sunni Muslim to Shia Muslim. Sneeko's about to go on a Shia arc. He's going to go around going, Ya Ali. How the fuck did he get him on stream, Hasan, and you did not? Brother, what are you talking about? He's been glazing Shias crazy recently. I mean, is he? I'm not going to lie. It's not wrong to do that. Like, he's not. How can you? It's crazy. How can you not? Look at the Sunni Arabs. Look at the Sunni Muslims in general, the Muslim world, the Islamic world, and the Sunni leadership, okay? And then look at what the Shias have done. The only Sunnis in the axis of resistance against Israel and America are Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad and like the numerous groups within the Palestinian resistance. That's pretty much it. No, the Houthis are not Sunni, they're Shia as well. Look at the Sunni Arab leadership, bro. That's the Gulf states. Maybe Professor Chiang is right. There's going to be a Pax Islamica now. All Sunni opposition was already destroyed, dum-dum. Ex-Saddam. Come on, man. Come on. The only Sunni opposition that you can find is literally an American asset? That's crazy. An American asset that literally attacked Iran, waged war against Iran, and not only that, but also on top of waging war with Iran, we're talking about a much broader thing other than the one Ba'athist, Saddam Hussein. Shia is what every hog thinks every Muslim is? No. Hogs think every Muslim is a Salafist or like Wahhabist Islam. Hogs think every Muslim is ISIS. Okay. They don't make a distinction between, because they're stupid. They don't make a distinction between like the IRGC, the Iranians, and like these, Al Qaeda and Al Nusra and Al Shabaab and ISIS, ISIL, ISIS-K, many of the HTS, who's libbed up now. There are so many distinctions. He mocked her. Oh my God, that's awesome. I love that. Don't forget our GOAT Gaddafi. He was right, but too early on multipolarity and undoing the petrodollar. Yeah, I mean, he was He was a little crazy too. Please explain. I was raised chud. Yes, all these like Al-Qaeda style groups are primarily funded. And you don't have to listen to my word. Listen to Mohammed bin Salman, the king, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, openly revealed that since the 80s, America has been paying Saudi Arabia to spread Wahhabist Islam. Very, very extreme version, very extremist version of like not like very fundamentalist, very extremist version, radicalizing people and spreading this ideology all around the region, and offering, you know, financial and logistical support to these groups in a way where people claim Iran is doing the same thing, but with Shias. Except these guys are just Shias, and Iran is just giving them weapons to resist and defend themselves, and at times, you know, react offensively. Salafists are not ISIS. They use Salafists to give it a bad name. Salafist comes from Salaf al-Salih. It literally means following the footsteps of the Prophet and the 3 generations after him. ISIS does never belong their law. Maybe you know something more now about this as well. I mean, that's what they claim. But yeah, but Salafists are fundamentalists too. Come on. Like, not all Salafists are ISIS, but Salafists are fundamentalists. That's crazy to say that they're not. They are fundamentalists. Holy shit. Yeah, MBS spreading the Southern Baptist equivalent of Islam. My son got bullied at the park today for being autistic. I told him the coolest kids are autistic like you, me, Hasan. Made him feel better. Aw. That's dope. Iran made me want to become Muslim because I feel that they are the true left, even though they hate commies that fight against American imperialism. First of all, they're not. Dude, not every anti-imperialist country that is engaging in an act of anti-imperialism due to, you know, the conditions that were brought about due to their emancipatory vibe and have sovereignty are going to be leftist. That's crazy. Iran is not a leftist country at all. It's not the case in any way, shape, or form. And I don't mean like they're not leftist because like they don't have, you know, woke social liberties. Salafists are textbook fundamentalists. You're strictly following only the first 3 generations after the prophets, so you're perpetually stuck in the 7th, 8th centuries and impervious to change. Without a doubt, many Salafists are not violent, but to say ISIS does not have a basis in Salafism is just a lie. Yeah. Islam, across the board, has a lot of, I mean, I've jokingly said this before, Islam is the most socialist religion. It's true. The 5 pillars of Islam all have a lot of socialist components in it. That doesn't mean that they are socialist, okay? Especially because a lot of people don't actually follow all of the rules to a T. One example I always use is usury. Usury is a sin in Islam. And I believe it's a sin in Christianity as well. And yet, there are Muslim banks, all right? But the reason why I jokingly and not so jokingly say Islam is a very, not leftist necessarily, but a very socialist religion is because, I mean, one of the key pillars is zakat. Now, zakat is basically giving a percentage of your overall wealth to your immediate vicinity, to those in need, okay? Christianity has a version of charity as well, but that's tithing, and that goes to the church, and then the church does whatever the fuck it wants to with that money. Zakat is direct redistribution of resources. Even fasting during Ramadan, at least the way it was taught to me when I was younger, is about understanding the plight of those who have less than you. So the entire Muslim world for 30 days, every single year, go through this process, okay? Go through this process where they literally don't drink any water and don't eat any food from sun up to sun down. And this is a religious process where you're supposed to develop a better appreciation, a better understanding for those who are less fortunate than you. Here's a 30-minute compilation of Hasan calling out anti-Semitism and criticism of Israel shouldn't be conflated with Jewish people. Next time someone accuses him of being anti-Semitic based on 20-second clips, you could just show this instead of trying to argue further. Most people know he's not, but still weaponize anti-Semitism to silence voices. I'm just posting this for archival purposes.
Anti-Semitism is a canary in the coal mine of fascism. It's one of the oldest bigotries that has caused those of the Jewish faith a tremendous amount of pain. From pogroms to the Jews have always been singled out by those in power as a scapegoat for instability and economic volatility people in power cause. A resilient, nascent anti-Semitism is a constant threat, especially as economic instability makes those in power seek out old targets. They're not very creative, usually. They just always rehash the same propaganda over and over again. This is precisely the reason why I am terrified of the conflation of anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. The conflation is dangerous. Valid criticisms against the state, especially as all of the violence is unfolding, and everyone can see it, valid criticisms against the state committing these atrocities and tying it back to Judaism is a cynical ploy to stop all matter of conversation is truly terrifying. And I think it directly causes anti-Semitism to fester.
I will always call out anti-Semitism. It's gross, it's immoral, it is a hate crime. There is no space for anti-Semitism. So when I hear from those who have never even cared about anti-Semitism coming in here to like use it, to deploy it cynically, and to say this nasty thing to someone like myself and to others who are simply calling for the emancipation of Palestinians, I lose my mind. It is so gross. It's so disgusting. You are betraying the severity of anti-Semitism when you use it in such a silly way. There is real anti-Semitism. There is actually a sense of marginalization that is valid. There is actually a genuine impact of anti-Semitism that is a canary for fascist ideology. So when that gets diluted with anti-Zionism in a very nefarious cycle that tries to associate all of the actions of Israel with Judaism, you are literally, without recognizing, telling people something that is objectively false, okay? Just like Saudi Arabia and its actions have nothing to do with Islam.
Crying wolf? What do you mean?
Okay? Or the rest of the Muslim world, Israel's actions have nothing to do with Judaism or, you know, how American Jews or Jews wherever they live in the world and their day-to-day experiences. It has nothing to do with that. It is a state, right? It is a state built around an ethno and religious supremacist ideology that is built on top of an area where there are millions of indigenous people and tens of millions that have been displaced already. It has nothing. It has nothing to do with Judaism across the board, no matter how hard people have packaged it as such. These people do not care about actual anti-Semitism. Actual anti-Semites, and their base of support is growing every single day. There is wide, popular momentum around anti-Israel sentiment, and this is a reality that anti-Semites know. That's why they take advantage of this sentiment. They use Israel constantly, pairing itself up with Judaism falsely to say, see, this is how they are. And their ranks grow every single day. Okay? That's it. That's it.
Thank God I'm wearing my apolitical hat, so the people that encounter this video in its entirety will know that I'm actually coming at this issue from a totally apolitical perspective. I will say, though, wait, you've been talking about these issues for this long? Damn. Okay, come on, man. Wait, really? Dude, it's even long. Okay, joking. That's also part of the reason why it's like funny when someone goes, why do people say you're inconsistent? I don't know. People are stupid. They say a bunch of nonsense about me all the time. Who cares? Make up your own mind, you know? Real anti-Semites, the actual anti-Semites and their ranks grow every single day. This creates a dangerous predicament for Jews living in the Western world. Okay? It does. This conflation between Judaism and Israel, this false conflation, has existed in perpetuity. It plays a formative role in legitimizing nascent anti-Semitic opinions that people have. And yet, nothing changes. Just something to think about. Yeah, it's shameless and also insanely, intensely anti-Semitic, ironically enough, okay? It is intensely anti-Semitic to put the feelings of American Jews that you, by the way, have made up, okay? It doesn't even like correspond to reality. Jews are not monolithic, obviously. No group is. You're literally associating all Jews in America with Israel's Nazi project. That is unimaginably anti-Semitic.
I try to stress the importance fairly regularly of, especially at a time when anti-Semitism has exploded from, Kanye West's latest song all the way down to some of the most prominent conservative pundits openly agitating towards anti-Semitism, using cynically what is going on in Gaza to develop a heinous message that then attributes all of those crimes to Jewish people. I find myself virtually every day speaking out against that and decoupling Zionism and Judaism on a regular basis in an effort to educate people that might find themselves on the whims of unexamined anti-Semitic tendencies. I am someone who is firmly committed to combating anti-Semitism for my past decade of work. I've been doxxed and swatted by neo-Nazis in perpetuity for this reason. But I also happen to be a committed anti-Zionist, that I believe in the emancipatory cause for Palestinians. And I've never shied away from that position, no matter what.
The Pittsburgh synagogue shooting happened not that long ago. Anti-Semitism has been a problem in Western society in perpetuity. It has always been an issue. Originally, it was used to justify pogroms against the Jews, expulsion and murder and forced conversions. Whether you look to Spain or Portugal or Russia or any other place where Jews live, that's why there's a lot of intergenerational trauma within the shared history of Jews. Okay? That's why there's a lot of Jewish people that are just like always terrified that, there is an enemy combatant. Like that at any given moment, someone could just pop off and be like super anti-Semitic. And there's also truth to that. The issue is weaponizing like legitimate claims of anti-Semitism as a deflection, like drawing it up like a shield in an instance where something that should be completely separated from being Jewish, the actions of a nation state, turn around and use that as a way to be like, oh, well, anti-Semitism is on the rise. Sorry, can't talk about no matter what. Like, you should not be considering like every single person in Israel to be a part of a monolith. Let's hear what he had to say about anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism means spreading enmity towards the Jews. When the accursed Tsarist monarchy was living or the capitalist society. Anyway, I mean, come on. There are literally hundreds of videos in which you clearly stand against anti-Semitism. It's so brain broken to say you're anti-Semitic. I know. Not only is it totally fucking bullshit. It's frustrating, man. I hate being lied about. It's my least favorite thing. I mean, I guess like, who would like that? Who would like that? Being constantly smeared. Just every single thing that I try to do and try to say, I have to walk through a mile of rusty nails crawling. Mallory McMorrow called you out. Damn. She did? Oh, hell yeah. Actually, this is the when performative activism goes wrong. Bro, this is a 15-minute video from this channel called Too Lazy to Try. Kyle Kalinske not going to be happy about this one. I need to get a job. I think the U.S. should stop fucking over Cuba. Sip of espresso killed me. He's really going through it. Talking about this like his comedian drama slop and not the United States choking a small island nation to death is incredibly cruel. This one sounds personal. Hold on. Did you say Chris Smalls is an influencer, the labor union leader? Lamau, okay, man. I guess when I volunteered at the soup kitchen, I should have dressed like a homeless person instead of wearing a $100 outfit. Life is just BoJack Horseman without the animal people. Okay, well, his own fucking fan base are not on board with it either, it seems. You think at this point you know your audience. But why are there blackouts? Mad they got drip. Great commentary. Can we follow this video up with another one about Trump admin starving Cubans to death? They literally went to Cuba with aid. What the fuck did anyone criticizing them do? This is recreational outrage. The guy sucking the last of a fucking drink directly into the podcast microphone while the other guy NPC replies, yeah, Cuba is sick, is almost satire. Bro, come on. It was 500 plus people. A group. What kind of Airbnb going to host them? He didn't misunderstand. He just doesn't care. How much did AIPAC pay for this one? Bro is an enlightened centrist in 2026. Hilarious. Go to Cuba, too lazy. I would love to see it. Yeah, the United States government only allows private companies to have access to oil. That's the five-star hotels. That's capitalism being the beacon of excellence in an embargoed socialist state. It's someone who says extremely offensive things in order to generate clicks and views and followers, which is not entirely different from somebody like Nick Fuentes. Picard is a provocateur, to put it lightly, who says things that are misogynistic and anti-Semitic and said that the United States deserved 9/11. McMorrow seeking the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate in Michigan. Let's go. Good. This kind of friction is good. Stop giving slop tubers attention. What is very annoying when it comes to criticism about you is that it's always done in bad faith. They're not doing fair criticism. They just have no interest in having a discussion. It's all fake outrage and often it's just false. Yeah. Not going to lie, this ain't good. Michigan voters are peak center. I think you're wrong about that. I think on this issue, they're not. Yeah. Current Cuban discourse reminds me of 2023 when Palestinian advocacy was the unpopular position. Dude, you don't understand. The reason why people are doing this is because I am unconditionally and uncompromisingly anti-Zion. So from that perspective, I am infinitely closer to the average voter anywhere around the country than any politician that strikes back against me. Do you understand? They, by the virtue of making these sorts of, like, Mallory McMorrow is smart enough to slap anti-Semitism at the tail end of this content, okay? She was smart enough to say, oh, this is kind of anti-Semitic at the end of it, right? Like, oh, he's just saying offensive things just for clicks. He doesn't care about this stuff, right? She sat down with Jewish Insider. Oh my God. First nugget from the interview, drawing a red line. Oh, dude. Okay. So she's literally getting the AIPAC boost. Jewish Insider is a mouthpiece for the state of Israel. Mallory McMorrow is leaning into the state of Israel's aid to attack Abdul el-Sayed. This is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Okay? Now we know why. Now we know why she was doing the whole like AIPAC meetup and giving them her position papers. Mallory McMorrow has no idea who you are. She called you fucking homophobic. That's insane. She called me homophobic. Jewish Insider is emailing everyone with Hasan Piker, an anti-Semite, said these things. Do you think he's bad? Give us a quote, please. Yeah. McMorrow slams el-Sayed for campaigning with Hasan Piker, compares Piker to Nick Fuentes. She is right. You are a foe. It's true. It's true. I am an LGBTQ foe. She watches Fear and knows you're a foe. It's like with Cuomo. She likely has a staffer who's against you feeding her anti-Hasan clips. Would you consider going on CNN or other establishment outlets? You're in your bubble right now. I think you need to meet these smears where they're at. Truth is on your side. Yeah. No amount of evidence to the contrary will help. Pro-Israelis will just say your anti-Semitism is more pernicious because it's hidden. There's no reasoning with insanity, mama. Yeah, but we're not. This is a fucking campaign. This is a political battle. This is a political race. This has nothing to do with like me convincing random people. How can he be homophobic? His bitch is gay. In parentheses, Austin. No, I think a lot of these people. I think a lot of these people are getting their notes from pro-Israel groups. Okay? That's what it is. They're getting their notes from pro-Israel groups. She's backed by J Street, which I suspect is not very fond of me either, but I mean, that's fine. I don't agree with J Street, obviously, because it's a liberal Zionist operation, and I'm an anti-Zionist. You can tell it's forced and disingenuous because they're comparing you to Nick Fuentes, not the other way around. They platform Nick as, wow, look at this quirky, edgy teenager, and you as, he's just like violent extremist Nick Fuentes. Yeah, J Street endorsed her. Scoop, J Street, the liberal pro-Israel lobby group, has endorsed Mallory McMorrow for the U.S. Senate race in Michigan and is encouraging donors to give on their site. News is tucked into our brand new story on Track AIPAC. One side, there's three candidates in this race. You got Mallory McMorrow, who is backed by J Street. So they're liberal pro-Israel people. The other side is Haley Stevens. Haley Stevens is backed by AIPAC. They're ultra-Zionists, openly pro-Israel, like aggressively pro-Israel, unconditionally and uncompromisingly pro-Israel. And then there's one guy in the race, Abdul el-Sayed, that's not backed by either of these groups. Abdul el-Sayed is backed by the people. You make that decision. J Street is also uncompromisingly pro-Israel. They have different strategies. I agree. I guess like the only reason why I have a soft spot is because I understand that like there's so much social conditioning that takes place amongst especially American Jews from very early on that like J Street at least is like an opening for some. I mean, no, it was J Street. That's why I have a soft spot for it, because I understand that like you can have incredibly reliable anti-Zionist Jewish allies that are alumnus of J Street. Soft spot means you like them. Softer on them is the term. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't say soft spot, but I just, MSU newspaper, student newspaper, Jewish student groups deeply troubled by upcoming campus visit by Hasan Piker. Popular leftist commentator was stumped with Abdul El-Sayed's U.S. Senate campaign. A group representing Jewish students at Michigan State University. Dude, I'm sorry. Okay? I can't take this sincerely. I can't take this sincerely. It's just like whenever Israel feels threatened, they launch a multi-pronged approach. Okay? They launch a multi-pronged approach, and it's fucking utter nonsense. Okay? These fucking Jewish student groups are not doing this because they're like sincerely afraid. Okay? They're just doing it because they have the name Jewish slapped onto it, but they're actually there to defend the interests of Israel. That's it. That's it. It's fucking ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I know I got Jewish HasanAbi heads at MSU. It's so fucking annoying. I don't know if Mexico did October 7th to us. We will smack them up for years to come. What do you think happened after 9/11? The Americans wanted blood? Yeah, brother. You think that was good? Who the fuck is out here? Bro, the average Republican doesn't even defend what we did after 9/11. Who the fuck are you? That's so stupid. Guy literally said, oh, what if a country, what if a sovereign state did October 7th on American soil? We smacked them up. Think about what we did after 9/11. Yeah, was it good what we did after 9/11? You agree with the global war on terror? What are you, Dick Cheney's corpse? What the fuck? You love terror? I love terror. Here I am getting yelled at because I hate terror. I hate Israeli terror. I hate terror that America brings about the rest of the world. Very strange. I think they fear your talking points and that their position against Palestine is indefensible. Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, they pulled the same line when I went to UBC. 2 events, 1 campus, Nova Survivor testimony and political provocation unfolds simultaneously at UBC. Their like 20-person meetup that they did as a response to my auditorium speech is being presented as my fucking speech in the auditorium that invoked them to do a retaliatory event with like 20 people. My speech was actually a political provocation. That was the Nova Survivor testimony. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, there were 1,400 people in attendance at my speech at UBC. What's going on with your talk at Stanford? My ticket just got refunded. They said the venue is changing. I wonder why. Maybe it's a bigger area or something. I have no idea. Ay, how fucking annoying. Smaller, bro fell off, had to downsize. Are you doing Stanford off the dome? No. Easy way to shut down your truth is to lie about you and smear you. Unfortunately, it's effective because people who don't watch you will believe and adopt the rhetoric spewed about you. It's all good. All they need to do, like, look, I believe that people are, at the end of the day, honest and kind and open-minded. Okay? They can be. They have that capability, right? All they need to do is come here and listen to what I have to say. And they will very quickly realize that they've been led astray. Now, of course, those who are deeply committed to the cause of Israel, who feel a personal connection and cannot remove that connection at all, are not ever going to listen to anything I say. They're just not going to believe me. And there are different hangups that will exist as well. There'll be people that say, I don't really listen to this guy. I don't want to listen to this guy. He's Muslim. Of course he hates Jews, you know? There will be Islamophobia. But most people that have the capacity to think critically, most people who have the capacity to think critically will look to what's going on, look to all the people that are saying this stuff, and some will believe it, and others will be like, you know what? I'm going to look for myself. I want to see what this is about. There are plenty of people in this community that came from that background. People who just like heard smears, believed them, internalized them, and then realized that, those smears were completely unwarranted. They were lies. Not everyone on the internet is the hateful little monsters that you see on Twitter. Okay? Smears make me personally frustrated. It muddies the waters in a way that lets real anti-Semitic bigots get away with spewing their vitriol under the guise of pro-Palestinian advocacy. It just makes me angry because you have a good heart. I think you're doing your best to try to get others to live with good intentions, keep up the good work. Yeah, you just got to do what you got to do, man. That's it. The CIA agent wants you to know that criticizing Israel is not allowed. This is true. I was able to convince a friend of mine who had grown up a Destiny watch to give you your watch a year ago, and to this day, his perspective has changed tremendously to the point that he even echoes your own points. Yeah. I've never encountered a hater who is he's a Muslim type. It's always he's performative and LARPing and stupid sexy Hasan. Yeah. I mean, look, some people are unsavable, unsalvageable. It is what it is, right? You can't always win everybody. Some people will take advantage of the nuanced perspective that I try to offer on these issues. Some people will just like lean into the fucking shitty smears. But I think at the end of the day, people have the capacity to see the truth. Like they're adults. You can think for yourself. You can urge others to think for themselves.
Of sweeping gun violence prevention reforms here in the state of Michigan. Now, there is a brand of progressivism that I get really frustrated with. I'm going to be candid, where it is a brand that's about being right instead of actually making progress. Where there
oh God, it's the reasonable moderate. The reasonable moderate, dude.
Purity tests that stand in the way of building a coalition and introducing legislation and passing it that I think.
Director at the Quincy Institute said to me, cannot believe the shit he's catching from on high in DC right now. The Dem elites are completely divorced from reality. They are. It's so frustrating.
I think is really hurtful. But I also believe we can't just chip around the edges. Moderating policy is not the solution. We need to be bold. We need to dream big. And we have to be smart enough to know that we need to build coalitions to have the votes to not only win elections.
Oh, FYI, the Stanford venue change was communicated. We apologize for the late changes. Students with Justice in Palestine chapter, we sometimes face additional administrative hurdles. Oh, they changed it to a smaller venue. The administration forced them to change it to a smaller venue, I think. Wash no motion? No, they're saying the admins changed it. Stanford, the Dems don't want to win. They want to watch Trump drive the GOP off a cliff, and they'll be the only game in town. It's back to stroking off Capitol. Yeah. My more religious Muslim wife doesn't want you, but I catch her laughing when she hears your vulgarities being used to roast dumbasses. Do it like Ben Shapiro and sue Stanford. Lamau, he did that at UMN in 2017 for the same thing. Brother, look at the organs of propaganda that are working in tandem with the centrist Democratic Party, the National Party. They are all up in arms attacking me right now. You think I have the organizational backing of one of the two major parties in the way that motherfucking Ben Shapiro had at the peak of cancel culture? Yeah, this literally was a 1,000 person venue that was fucking sold out. They swapped it to a 350 person venue instead. So now approximately 700 people that got tickets to go to this event are not going to be able to attend. Take a march, do one outside. Well, guys, shut the fuck up. I'm not going to go outside, dude. Yeah, let me get fucking Charlie Kirked, okay? Jesus Christ. Oh, that's fucking annoying. Maybe do a few more shows there, just one to remedy the nonsense, just suggesting, guys, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not how this works. I can't just like pick up a venue on my own with 1,000 people and rent it out and like hire security and hire the fucking PA and get the proper licensing in time. What are you like? Think, please. What are you talking about? Lol, yes, you can. It's on Wednesday, dude. It's next Wednesday. What are you talking about? Did none of you, like, even if you didn't go to college, did none of you, like, do many of you lack the capacity to close your eyes and think? Do you know how fucking long events planning, do you know how much effort goes into planning an event like this? Reopen the schools for America right now. Yeah. Ugh. Did they not tell you beforehand or just learning about the change through chatters? Yeah. They just refunded everyone's tickets. They refunded everyone's tickets. So chatters came in here to be like, what's going on? Maybe it wasn't sold out. I don't know. Did they give a reason why? The organizer said administrative changes. No, it was sold out. I heard it sold out in like 3 minutes. That's so annoying. I never promised to watch this fucking Dr. Witnesser clip. If you ever send this to me ever again, I'm going to permanently ban you. You always come in here after I ban you. When you get unbanned, you get banned, you get suspended for like a day, sometimes a week. And then you come back and you go, please watch this Curtis Connor video about Dr. Witnesser. You promised. Now you got a week off. In a week, if you come back and do the same thing, I'm going to permanently ban you. God, this is fucking annoying. Stanford has been in multiple lawsuits over SJP on their campus for the past 2 years. I bet this is them fucking SJP in an anti-Israel motion. Ay, ay, ay. It's because of that article you were on before where they wrote a letter to the school accusing you of coming to the event and making the school unsafe and worried about their belongings. Yeah, there's going to be a fucking Islamic style anti-Semitic purge. Yeah, I saw M. HUD. We were just looking at that. Comedy podcast Loptuber are too lazy to try to hit piece video on you today regarding Cuba, and the comments are ripping his ass apart. I love when people who have been forced to think about Cuba for the first time in their life has some shit to say. No, I'm not going to cancel. I've never been to Stanford before, no. But I'm not going to cancel on the students that want to go and see what I have to say. Why are you so upset? What happened? I said student groups ask me to do, auditoriums all the time. And I say yes. It's not like a paid event at all. Normally, a lot of these people that speak at college campuses, they get paid to do these gigs. I don't. I do it for free. I fly out on my own. I pay for my own flights. I pay for my own hotel. I do it because I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's valuable. I think it's good to get students motivated, get them organized, get them to meet people, like-minded people, right? And I said yes to this. There's a lot of different colleges that ask. And I said yes to this. And the initial place that they had set up had the capacity for 1,000 people. I didn't even know this, by the way. I didn't know the details until just this very moment. But basically, what happened is it was the capacity originally was 1,000 people. And then out of nowhere, the administration changed it to a different venue and refunded people's tickets. The tickets sold out, by the way. And the new place that they put me in is a much smaller room, 350 people. Looks like Dylan is upset you suggested that they should have taken the Minsk agreement. Maybe next stream you can respond to. He's making some good points. Who the fuck is Dylan? What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God. What are you saying, bro? If you're not getting paid, who's it for the ticket sales? I don't think they're sold. I think they're free. Or maybe not. I guess people do pay for it. I don't know. It's not for me though. Yeah. Oh, never mind. It was. It actually holds the Memorial Auditorium where it was supposed to be holds 1,700 people. Bro really said my best friend Dylan has some issues. Can you please respond to him? Anyway, book your own venue there for months down the road. Get Cutie to organize it and name it HasanAbi Fest. Okay. Anytime some shit like this happens in real time on stream, everyone in the chat, probably because they're very kind individuals, they're very kind-hearted people, just decide now is my time to shine. I'm an event organizer. I have a lot of opinions. I'm not going to permanently ban every single person, but I should probably just move on from this because it is going to cause me to lose my fucking mind and start screaming because some of you are bringing up shit that's so unfucking believable. You're like backseat event organizing. We're just going to move on from this. Okay. Oh my God. Just host it in my mom's backyard, bro. I got you, King. I got you. The funniest is when people are like, bro, I got a venue for you. Anyway. No, they moved it to a smaller venue with 350 people. They moved it from a venue that seats 1,700 people to a smaller one with 350 people, which means a lot of people that got a lot of people that got tickets for this event are not going to be able to go and watch it. Have you considered watching Tip to Tip to clear your head? Okay, take a week off. Anyway, back to where we were at. Never mind, I'm not going to say anything. We're moving on. So J Street endorsed Mallory McMorrow. They're using like the student advocacy groups, and also Jewish Insider has written a fucking hit piece. McMorrow slams El Sayed for campaigning with Hassan Piker, compares Piker to Nick Fuentes. Royal Oak, Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow, who's running in a tight three-way Democratic primary for U.S. Senate, slammed one of her opponents, Abdul El Sayed, for his decision to campaign with the far-left political streamer Hassan Piker. Piker, who has a history of anti-Semitic and pro-Hamas remarks, is slated to appear at 2 campaign rallies with El Sayed and Representative Summer Lee in April. It is somebody who says extremely offensive things in order to generate clicks and views and followers, which is not entirely different from somebody like Nick Fuentes, McMorrow told Jewish Insider in an interview Thursday, referring to the neo-Nazi podcaster. Piker is a provocateur, to put it lightly, who says things that are misogynistic, anti-Semitic, and said that the United States deserved 9/11. McMorrow's comments come as El Sayed has doubled down on his decision to campaign with Piker. The third major candidate in the Democratic primary, Representative Haley Stevens, said on Wednesday, the Piker is the exact opposite of someone I'd be campaigning with, a sentiment McMorrow echoed. Good. This is a good thing. This draws ideological boundaries. This is not a bad thing at all, okay? This pushes McMorrow and Stevens into the other side of the line of demarcation that is now drawn by them, okay? That is not somebody that you should be campaigning with at a moment when there's clearly a lot of pain and trauma across our states at McMorrow. How do you bring everybody together, especially when there are difficult conversations where there aren't easy answers? You don't fan the flames and stoke division just to get attention. She's smart enough to try to present this as me being like a provocateur who doesn't care about like serious subject matters. But the real the real reason is they didn't provide one quote of yours. Yeah. McMorrow sat down with Jewish Insider's Gabby Deutsch. It's crazy that all of these people that are giving statements to Jewish Insider have never met me, have never heard what my opinion is, and they're just literally responding without knowing anything about me. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. Like with Nick Fuentes, at least I'm sure they've heard shit about Nick Fuentes. They could have done their due diligence. They could have looked it up. Earlier this month, a heavily armed man drove in the car. Oh God, it's so fucked up. Temple Israel, a Reform synagogue with early child care center in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan, before he died in a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The assailant's brother, a Hezbollah commander in Lebanon, was killed by Israeli forces not long before the Michigan attack. I made a statement back in 2023 after the October 7 attacks that my biggest fear was that the events in the Middle East tear us apart at home, and this was an example of that coming to life in a really visceral and terrifying way. I mean, this statement in and of itself is also basically revealing McMorrow's position. My biggest fear after October 7 was what Israel would do. And my biggest fears were realized. Her biggest fears was, oh, what if people back home have arguments with one another? Okay? Even in this circumstance, they're saying, oh, the brother was a Hezbollah commander, which there's no evidence for, mind you. The dude's brother was a Hezbollah commander, which there was no evidence for. And also, they're not mentioning the children that were killed in that strike, the immediate relatives of the person. Regardless of the indecent actions that he took, the completely unacceptable and indecent actions that he took, which luckily led to no victims other than himself. Raina Jen, thank you for the 50 gifted subs. However you feel about what is happening in the Middle East, the response is never take it out on people at home. The 140 kids who are at preschool, that they bear no responsibility for anything that's happening in the Middle East, and the rhetoric is being ratcheted up. Yeah, I'm not saying that they do. I've never said that they do, but they're going to, in the most indecent ways possible, try to imply that I am somehow associated with this. So Jewish Insider is just a designated Israeli hit piece outlet tasked with election interference in the U.S.? Yes, that's precisely what it is. Look, if Hasan is such a, yeah, I mean, this point stands, obviously. If Hasan is such a liability, then he'll drag down Sayed's campaign and he'll lose. So I don't know what centrists are having a meltdown about. Isn't this like their ideal scenario? So it is rather odd. It's rather odd that they're giving unsolicited advice to Abdul El Sayed. Very interesting. Very odd. Wonder what Umich Voter thinks about that one. Umich Voter is McMorrow's stan. So I assume that he is going to come out and be like, I agree. Hasan is bad. He tried to There was weeks-long discourse about him not wanting to vote for Newsom, even hypothetically, and now he's doing the opposite and promoting progressive candidates. They have a problem with that too. They simply just don't want progressive influence in the party. Yeah.
All right, honest question. What say you?
Same people calling you anti-Semitic were begging you to endorse Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because Abdul al-Sayed's doing better than expected. That's why. This is how you can tell that they're actually getting nervous about McMorrow and how the Trump-Israel war is rapidly shifting the ground and creating an opening for al-Sayed. And that's why all of the McMorrow backers, or not even like McMorrow backers necessarily, but just like people who don't want someone like myself to have a say, right? People who don't want someone like myself to have a say in this process, to basically to be X'd out of the conversation, not realizing that that doesn't take away from my platform. Okay, I don't know why these people don't understand that. Like, these sorts of smear operations don't actually work at all. And if it actually causes, candidates to be afraid of like aligning with me, I don't give a shit. It's not going to stop me from doing commentary. You know what I mean? I'm a political commentator. I'm going to keep doing political commentary. And these kinds of smears are not only ineffective, but they actually boost my profile in general. Why are they mad now? You've already done 2 streams with al-Sayed. Partially because I'm like appearing with them and they think this is a good angle of attack to, one, present me as like a Muslim, scary Muslim, Islamist fundamentalist, terrorist, and then basically tie the only Muslim brown guy in the running to also receive these sorts of Islamophobic attacks. It's the exact same reason. It's not because I was in the news for Cuba. No, that's not the reason. The reason why they're doing this is because Abdul al-Sayed is Muslim. Okay? They're desperate. They see him rising up the polls. They don't like it. They want to jam up his comms with this nonsense. They did this with Mamdani too. I've noticed that like all of the pro-Israel outlets, Hasbara machine, does this with Muslim candidates, because they don't do this with all the other like white boys that I hang out with. You know what I mean? They don't do this with any other type of candidate. They only weaponize this against Muslim candidates because they think they can like stitch them up. It's a not so subtle way of engaging in Islamophobic attacks. That's what it is. Because think about it. Think about it. Really. Seriously. How many prominent Muslim media figures do you know that have gained a platform my size or even close to my size that isn't considered a radical terror apologist by the broader subsects of media, especially reactionary elements within the media? I would go so far as to say the only one is like Hasan Minhaj, probably. They do this with Mehdi Hasan. They do this with Mehdi Hasan. Not to the same degree as they attack me, certainly, but they do this with Mehdi Hasan too. That's what it is. Yeah. They're getting worse than 2016 Bernie bro bullshit. Is crazy to me. I actually think accusing 2 Muslim American men of being just like a Nazi because they support an end to the Palestinian genocide is actually a really smart thing to do when you're running for Senate in a state with the 6th largest Muslim population in the country. Will you ever chat with Mehdi? I talk to Mehdi on a daily basis. Like literally on a daily basis, I talk to him. Anyway, this is not a bad thing at all. This is a good thing. A group representing Jewish students at Michigan State University say it's deeply troubled the U.S. Senate candidate Abdul al-Sayed inviting leftist commentator Hasan Piker to speak at an upcoming rally in April on campus. In a statement to the State News on behalf of MSU Hillel, Vice President of the Jewish Student Union Skylar Elbinger wrote to the President Piker, whom the group called a known anti-Semite at the rally, would create a hostile environment for Jewish students on campus by threatening their security and belonging. Unfucking believable. It's so gross. What a gross thing to fucking say. What a gross and cynical thing to say. At a time when Jewish students are experiencing heightened fear and vulnerability, especially in the wake of the recent attack on the Temple of Israel in West Bloomfield, this choice is especially concerning, the statement read. The local pushback follows a wave of scrutiny on the al-Sayed campaign by centrist Democrats after the campaign announced Tuesday that Piker would be a speaker on his college campus tour, which includes the University of Michigan. Anyone eager to join a campaign with Hasan Piker is at best comfortable overlooking his anti-Semitic and anti-American extremism and at worst endorsing it. Jonathan Cowan, the president of the centrist think tank Third Way, told Politico Tuesday. Efendim, ne var baba? Oh, what's up? Yeah, McMorrow said I'm an anti-Semite. You want to come in?
Yeah. I was like sitting out there, and then I saw that, and I was like, oh, I would about that. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, they're on my ass, bro. They are on my fucking ass.
So they saw that Zoran Mamdani, was, your boy and accepted your support, and they said, I want to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, that's what they saw. Dude, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand it. I like it kind of makes no sense for any real reason. Because on the one hand, it's like you're just making an unnecessary decision and inviting unnecessary enmity to yourself. Because like most people don't know who I am, right? So most people don't know who I am, but there are people who do know who I am. And if you're like trying to be a progressive candidate, there's going to be people who are willing to vote for you that have heard of me, that are fond of what I'm doing, or know what I'm about. And they're going to go, well, that's weird. Why are you saying that? Right? Like, why are you saying that about this guy? It's going to make them, reconsider their position on going for McMorrow. That's one. The other side of the story is if I'm this like truly toxic individual and you are trying to defeat Abdullah al-Sayed, then why are you giving him advice? Right? Because like if this is a sincere demand that he like, what's the demand here? Like you're literally begging for Abdullah al-Sayed not to make a mistake.
Part of it, I guess to me, like it's so disgustingly cynical.
Yeah.
It's vile.
Yeah. The campus Hillel.
Like no, it's like McMorrow doing this is like it's disgusting. It's bullshit. It's a smear. Insider about it. A rag.
She sat down.
Oh, she gave good for them. Like it's fucking awful. I think it's look, I can't think of anything in this moment that does as much to, if you actually care about anti-Semitism, like if you actually, if like your concern is anti-Jewish bigotry, hatred in the hearts of people for Jewish people, cynically accusing people of anti-Semitism because of politics. Because there's not a factual basis for this. It's not a defensible claim unless you really believe that there is some kind of association with being critical of Israel, critical of Zionism, and anti-Semitism. If you believe that there's an intrinsic association between those two things, in which case you're not qualified, for dog catcher, as the cliche goes.
Yeah, and it's totally ridiculous. Because you're basically saying that your position is that, people who are critical of Israel are anti-Semitic. It's fair game to call them anti-Semitic, even if they've done a good deal of fighting against all bigotries, including anti-Semitism. It doesn't fucking matter. And what's even wilder is that my position is the majority position, like the overwhelming majority position, as a matter of fact. There's a reason why McMorrow went to AIPAC privately and gave them the policy papers, but then has now openly said, oh, what Israel's doing is a genocide. Like, to me, you come to the table with that recognition, and yet you're still trying to distinguish yourself in some way on this issue, like as though you have a more moderate position on genocide. You must not believe it's actually a genocide. If you think,
that's what this invites. It invites like scrutiny of any commitment to like a real, like criticism of Israel. If like this is how seriously you treat issues, like I get it. Like there was an awful atrocity that was committed at a synagogue, an indefensible crime. Like it's what it was. Like that becomes political license in this way. Is disgusting.
Yeah, compared me to Nick Fuentes, dude. This shit
fucking
is so
gutter
gross.
Politics. And it's a sign that McMorrow is she's not ready for prime time. She's not ready for daytime. She's not ready, she's not ready for 2 a.m.
She called you worse than Nick Fuentes? No, she said comparable to Nick Fuentes. I don't think she said I'm worse than Nick Fuentes. I'm never, only Ethan Klein has called me worse than Nick Fuentes.
Why would Ethan Klein say that?
Yeah, because, fucking insane. The reality is that they're absolutely shitting their pants at both their internal polls, having him neck and neck with them, and absolutely terrified about him getting any boost to put him over them. So they're desperately smearing you and labeling you a liability in the hopes that he panics and drops you because they know you are a possible boost.
I mean, clearly that they want him to have to make some measure of retreat. You know, that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Look, it almost, that doesn't matter though. Because one, I don't think it'll work for obvious reasons.
Yeah, because he's not backing down. Why the fuck would he? It's ridiculous.
And also, it's just bullshit. And then the second thing is, I mean, it kind of just doesn't matter because again, it speaks to like, it just shows that she lacks integrity. I gotta get a fucking jacket, man. You got a sweater. That was the right call.
Yeah, I think it's I do think it's to subtly or not so subtly imply that I am a dangerous anti-Semitic Muslim terrorist and that so is Abdullah Syed. He's like a sympathetic, you know? Don't you dare make fun of our cold king. Does Noah live with you now? Yeah, just for the week. But yeah, the first suggestion when you type Mallory McMorrow into Google is Mallory McMorrow APAC. I mean, that might be just yours.
Well, that's, yeah. And also it's, I mean, one, it might be just yours. And also like, I don't know if you noticed, but there's some news about that lately.
And the political landscape is drastically changing and the centrist Dems just simply do not understand. No, I think they're just trying to like nip it in the bud.
I mean, look, it's either they don't understand or they understand all too well. You know what I mean? Like it's again, these things just kind of don't matter. It's like the salient takeaway, right? It's just that like we now know which side she's on. Like, you know, be grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, to me, that's like, you know, before and through this, it wasn't really clear. I mean, to me, at least, I didn't have a particular reason to think highly negative of her, you know, and now it's a little different.
Yeah, it's like definitely. I mean, Demsock Sean is right. Like Mallory McMorrow has clearly decided to pivot to attacking the left. I've never seen Hasan Piker, but I know a bunch of 20-something kids who are big fans, and I'm not sure that kicking him out of the tent is going to make them feel great about the Democratic Party. But I was called a white supremacist today because I support Grant Plattner. So, yeah, I'm good with that. She and Stevens can have a steel cage death match over who wants to send more American tax dollars to Israel.
I mean, look, there's another world in which this is also like she does this, and like it's a way to, you know, try and get Stevens out of the race too, because it's a signal to AIPAC, like, hey, I'm the strong horse. I'm willing to go at your ops. Like, why are you running this unpopular person who also, like, you know, like people resent for because the DNC's got its thumb on the scale for her.
Yeah. Jewish Insider, by the way, did not even waste a breath and immediately.
Well, what I like just
immediately tied it back to the fucking.
I like. Did they reach out to you for comment?
No, of course not.
Oh well, you know that's great journalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they.
Well, no, the reason they didn't reach out for you for comment is because they probably, I mean, aside from being awesome journalists, is that they probably didn't want, they thought that you would snitch.
It's a hit piece. Yeah. I wish the Democratic Party showed this much outrage at Israel for committing a genocide for the last 2.5 years. It would be nice if they came together to condemn the mass murder of Palestinians with American tax dollars so they're wasting all their energy on this. Yeah. No, they're doing it again, and they're doing it in Michigan. That's what's so crazy, because this is what lost Michigan the last time. Okay.
Yeah, literally they sent who was it that went to give a lecture?
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot
Richie Torres.
That was it. It was both of them. Bro, it was okay. Again, I said this yesterday, but I got to bring this point up again. It is March. In November, the story was Joe Rogan of the left, podcasters. No more purity. 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 And then what the fuck now?
Yeah. Where Joe Rogan to the left, Joe Rogan to the left. You know, that's another thing.
Like, fuck off, man.
Yeah.
This is so exhausting.
90-10 issue, especially in Michigan, where they lost the vote last time for doing just this exact same thing.
Cut the before last.
Where they lost last time for doing this exact same thing. Yeah. They want a Joe Rogan to the left that votes right wing. That's what they want. Yeah.
Well, you go to battle with the Joe Rogan you got.
Yeah. Unbelievable that the Democrats are trying to marginalize anti-genocide voices when it's a 90-10 issue, especially in Michigan, where they lost last time for doing this exact same thing. I'm proud to stand with a true anti-fascist, anti-genocide voice. Like, all right, I'll put Abdul in there. We got to give him more prestige, you know? When they said Joe Rogan to the left, they meant corrupt you like Joe and buy you as an uncritical mouthpiece. Yeah, that shit was never going to happen. Do you guys remember when DNC did that autopsy and then we all read it and learned the lessons from it and implemented new strategies to bring new voters into the party? Anyway, I love Haley Stevens. Yeah.
It's gonna I mean, look, at least it's like I said, it's in the open now.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think this is.
I like this too because it's now
it's a really unpopular issue to like be on the unpopular side on. So it just like doesn't make fucking sense.
No.
What are your thoughts about Cuban American claims that Castro's family, the Cuban military, live a life of luxury? Raul Guillermo Rodrigo Castro El Cangrejo is a notable example. He's the son of a high military official and the nephew of Raul Castro. He's been seen on yachts, eating lobsters, living a life of luxury as Cuban people have been living under far worse conditions. I'll tell you this much. I interviewed the foreign vice minister, okay, Cosio, and his son is an electrician who fucking bikes to work because there's an oil blockade and an oil shortage on the island. And let me tell you, I was out dripping his ass by a wide margin, okay? So, I don't know. That wasn't the case. From my perspective, I can't speak on this one individual you're talking about. I don't know what his deal is, okay? But the political figures that I saw, they did not have drip.
I mean, I'll back it up in a broader way where it's there are people in Cuba who have like access to certain privileges. Like it's not a thing to be denied. However, like in the thrust of it, and like when you're talking descriptively about like the Cuban political class and much of the leadership, like Hasan is right. And there's not like I think that the kind of like favor hoarding and status hoarding and the kind of like assumptions about like a Cuban nomenclatura are like pretty misplaced, like the privileges of like their diplomatic corps, for example, from what I've seen firsthand are very, very few. These are not people who go around Washington, D.C. or foreign embassies in Mercedes, they're driving beat up Subarus. I think it's a worthy, it's actually like a thing about like the Cuban political class that I find like pretty exceptional.
Yeah. Unlike me, my fake ass, my fucking caviar commie ass, those were some broke boys. Okay. The political class in America is infinitely more wealthy than normal Americans. What the fuck are we talking about? I mean, yeah, there's that too, but like,
setting aside like a more philosophical critique about like the distribution of privilege and wealth and access in a society, it's like, all right, take it on its terms, and it's like it's just not like on absolute terms. I can't like it's just not a defensible critique. To
also,
me.
Like, what's the argument here? The principled stance is that like, wow, there's nepotism in Cuba. We should kill Cuban children by denying them, the hospital treatments that they need to
also,
save
I want to say there was
lives.
some stuff that guy said where he's like, he's even eating lobster, and it's like they have restaurants with lobster in Havana. Okay,
yeah,
I've eaten at them with Cubans who, trust me, like their family fucking burns wood to like cook. Like this isn't like stop it.
Yeah, how expensive was his shirt? Okay, I bet you it wasn't as expensive as mine. Here's what the recent polls tells me about what Michigan voters are seeing. Let's see what Abdul is saying.
I give a damn about polls, but sometimes when they're released by people who are running against you in your race, you got to pay attention. Because those polls released yesterday, they showed two things. Number one, people really like the movement we're building. And number two, they like it even more when they've heard about it. Why? Because I'm not a politician. I don't do politician things. I'm not trying to tell you what you can't have and shouldn't fight for. So if you believe like me that we deserve Medicare for all, that we deserve union rights, that we deserve an economy that is built for people instead of corporations, if we deserve to know that our tax dollars are being used to invest in us and our kids here rather than drop bombs.
Okay, that's anti-Semitic. They were right about him. He said the taxes should not.
Bro, I got called. A lady called me Nick Fuentes for saying that. Like because remember when there was I'll never forget this. And
okay, if they're calling you Nick Fuentes, then
and I was like shocked, and it wasn't a Jewish person, which like also made me even more.
I love that. That's
Classic.
I was like, bro.
No, it's like
Bro.
classic silence Jew. A Gentile is speaking about anti-Semitism.
and it was because I called, and it was because I said that in the aftermath. Like I was not speaking in like the literal, like the accounts for disaster relief are being used to send money to. It's like, stop it. That wasn't what I was saying. I was clearly making like a plowshares and swords point about like disaster relief after like the hurricane in North Carolina, and how FEMA was like nowhere to be seen or whatever. And she's like, quote, and I said, yeah, because instead we're just letting fucking like Jewish Hitler rampage around the Middle East. And she called me Nick Fuentes for saying that. And I'll
awesome.
never, that one to me was like, that's like, that one really like it got to me, like clearly, because I remember it like almost 2 years later.
My dad used to work in Shannon Airport cleaning the airplanes with the Cuban diplomats on the way to and from the USSR. And he said he's never seen airplanes so bare bones, metal husks on the inside. Only luxury of note was the excessive cigar butts. Oh, they were chiefing. They were chiefing in those bad boys.
I mean, they should be those cigars. I mean, well, they shouldn't be on a health level. Don't smoke. But also, like, Cuban cigars are incredible, and that is one of the things they do enjoy.
Oh my God. I'm going to hit you with the biggest weakness of Syed. If you close your eyes, he sounds like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
On other people and their kids over there, then I hope that you'll join us. Right? We're standing up to the likes of AIPAC. We're standing up to the corporate PACs. We're standing up to the establishment that wants to tell us that we can't have nice things. We're building a movement. I hope that you'll join us.
I don't know, man.
Y'all know that I give a damn about polls.
Okay. He's the biggest Lin-Manuel Miranda fan. And
okay.
And if he says Abdul doesn't sound like Lin-Manuel Miranda, then that's the case. Okay. Yeah. Friend of the show, Jack Cocherella said, people are sick of this shit. The ADL, which considers all Palestinian advocacy to be anti-Semitic, has been on a warpath against Hasan the Hun for a long time and is definitely not going to end there. Groups are now condemning the Pod Save guys for talking to Hasan. Jewish Insider wants to cancel JD Cocherella. Yeah. Anti-Defamation League maps Jewish peace rallies with anti-Semitic remarks. The latest Gen Z podcaster interviewing Democrats thinks Israel is a terrorist state. I mean, it is. Like, what do you want us to do?
What do you
about
want?
it?
Like, I'm sorry. I mean,
like,
look, there's
close
also
my eyes and plug my
but
ears?
this is the thing too with like why I really despise outlets like Jewish Insider, because what they're presenting
you're
as
Nick Fuentes.
Because I'm Nick. Because what drives me insane with this shit is that they're like it's I mean, it's gaslighting. It's just gaslighting. Sorry, like that's the first thing is that they're treating what is like descriptive reality as controversial interpretation, which is like stop it, driving me insane. But then the other part of it is that they're doing it like because they're doing like they're being the people. They are doing the things of which they are accusing others. They are, carrying water. They are acting as media servants, more or less, of the government and of the people who are actually carrying out real terrorism, real, like activated hatred, let's call it. And, they're accusing critics of being the people who do that. And, perhaps that's just the way it's fated to be, that people will always throw these accusations from one side to the other. I don't really feel that way. I actually do feel that there is, and believe pretty strongly, that it's like, they dial it up in this way. And it can't help but feel crazy making because they're doing it to be the thing that they accuse us of being.
Yeah. Those of prominence providing political commentary on the streaming platform, Twitch, has faced backlash for a variety of inflammatory comments during the 2025 New York City mayoral election. Then candidate Zohran Mamdani was criticized for appearing on Piker's streams, which opponents dialing in on Piker commenting in 2019 that America deserved 9/11, which he later retracted. Stop Anti-Semitism, a pro-Israel nonprofit, nominated Piker to be Anti-Semite of the Year for criticisms Piker made of Israel, as well as on-air comments that it doesn't matter if rapes happened on October 7. The decision to have Piker...
Sorry, look at that ellipsis. Look at that ellipsis. Yeah. It doesn't matter if...
Yeah.
Hold on. We just, imagine any set of words that could be spoken there. Rapes. Come on.
Yeah. The decision to have Piker speak at the rally, which marks his first foray into the U.S. Senate race, this is not true. I've literally done numerous things with Abdul El-Sayed. It's just, that's just bad journalism. I feel like I've done 3 things with Abdul El-Sayed already. You know what I mean? He's been here. This is my first stump. Is that a distinction? That's I
think look, this is just sloppy reporter language of what is a foray into the U.S. Senate race? That's figurative language.
That's
figurative language that doesn't actually tell you.
Yeah,
it's just a way of saying that it's what they're trying to convey in this paragraph clearly is just that it's oh, he's like now doing something he wasn't doing before, which in a vague way is true, just that you're more involved in the election cycle this year than you were before. And it's like, oh, it's
also,
and what's that doing? It's driving it's putting the Dems in disarray.
Also, why didn't they fucking reach out to me? Like, I would have given a quote to these guys
Because they don't give a fuck about you.
But it's a student newspaper. What? Like,
wait, I thought this was Jewish Insider. My bad.
this is a student.
Oh yeah,
newspaper.
you would have given them.
It is
one.
bad journalism.
All right. Well, now I feel bad because it's like I'm shitting on college students writing, and I was surely writing worse than this. Then
they need to do better. Come on. Democrats are losing our credibility to condemn those on the right who traffic on bigotry and anti-Semitism and hate. Our own members of Congress and candidates are celebrating, or worse yet, platforming those who espouse hate of any kind. Democratic Rep. Brad Schneider wrote on Expos Tuesday. In a statement, the State News, El Sayed did not answer questions about opposition to Piker's presence at the rally, instead saying that the campaign is looking to reach out those in the political system who have been locked out of our politics and a life they can't afford. I'm going to keep talking to these folks any and everywhere I can. The statement continued. It's no surprise that the corporate establishment who has been locking them out is now howling. This is what happens when you take on corporate power. They're trying to make it seem like you're only linking up because you're both Muslim and anti-Semitic, even though you've known each other for what, nearly 10 years at least? What, Abdul El-Sayed? No, I haven't known him for 10 years. What are you talking about? No, this is, it was, I've been boosting him from the start, but like,
well, look, they're now differentiating. The pack is thinning, like it's a primary. Only one can go forward. There are three of them. There's the guy who's the Bernie lane. And then what do the other two do?
The Waronite moderate centrist progressive.
Let them fucking eat each other alive, fucking dancing for APAC dollars. Go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Enjoy irrelevance. I mean, I don't know what to say.
It's just like, it's so fucking lame, dude. Ay. It's lame for two reasons. One, obviously, like, I don't like being in the crosshairs being smeared. Nobody would. But it's also stupid because, like, you're tarnishing the anti-Republican lane by refusing to associate with anti-genocide voices. Like, you are signaling to people that you are not committed to a true anti-genocide, to being true anti-genocide voice. You know what I mean? Like, it's frustrating that you're like, no, I am going to smear people for being right too early, for being consistently anti-Zionist. I'm going to viciously smear them and call them anti-Semites. That's the popular position. Like, I don't give a shit about them doing this in the primaries. I like that, right? Because I think that benefits Abdul. But I don't like that this is at the heart of my criticisms of the Democrats in general. This is an issue that the Democrats have to lead on. This is an issue that the Democrats have to lead on. If they don't, people like Tucker Carlson and Thomas Massie are going to fucking fill that lane. It's unbelievable that the Democrats are, once again, allowing the Republicans to have louder fucking voices. It's crazy.
And then, it's also like, because they have louder voices and we're, in this kind of like moment of like political apocalypse. And it's like, oh yeah, like what, you want to suddenly get everybody to stand up against Joe Kent, the highest ranking official across two administrations, to resign over like psycho foreign policy decisions. Like, yeah, Joe Kent's a psycho creep.
And this is also true. Notice the Democratic establishment was fine with Gavin Newsom inviting Charlie Kirk, Steve Bannon, Ben Shapiro to his podcast and having warm conversations where he conceded to them. They love Liz Cheney, who voted with Trump's agenda 93% of the time. No problems, all good. But Piker, well, that's just too much, man. It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's also going to be like a good, look, the other thing that this will be like this race is now a test case for, in a way more serious than Zoran, I think, because that was in New York. I just don't like I think this is a more interesting one because it's about like, this is closer to the heartland. More states look like Michigan than more races look like the New York City mayor's race, right?
Yeah.
And this is going to mean that how this plays out will have more relevance for, what, like it's going to, look, a lot of eyes should more eyes should be on this race because this issue, for anybody with, a pulse who's been paying attention, this issue is the one that's going to be the litmus test for politicians of both parties, not just like genocide, et cetera, but it's with genocide, the stridency of your, how strident your opposition is to, it's a real, like, which are, highly correlated. Let's call them correlated to be simple about it.
It's fucked up. Let's be real. The reason why they canceled it was because of the Drewski video from yesterday. I don't know. Oh, Stanford.
Oh.
I was supposed to do a speech at Stanford in a auditorium that holds 1,700 people. They unceremoniously, is the SJP invited me. They, out of nowhere, the tickets were sold out already. Out of nowhere, canceled the event and put it in a 350 person room.
All right. If any of you have ever seen the movie Z, this is what happens at the beginning of that classic movie. The radicals, the communists, the socialists, they want to hold an event, and then, they're honoring their political leader. And then, what do the fascist authorities in that movie do? Oh, they try to move it to this other place which has less capacity. Oh, they move it to a place where you have chairs, and you can't have the chairs there. It's against the fire code, etc. This is Red Scare shit. These are the times we live in. Unreal.
But it's just like, it's crazy. Like you're causing unnecessary enmity as the administration for your students. Like, I'm doing this shit for free. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm fine not going to Stanford. I'm doing this for your students. Okay? It's so silly. It's so ridiculous. Hakeem Jeffries told me that the upstate in Florida Tuesday night has led Democrats targeting half a dozen House Republicans in Florida, including Mario Diaz-Balart, Carlos Jimenez, Brian Mass, and Maria Elvira Salazar. Florida Republicans are getting very skittish about redistricting as well. Yeah, they got it. They're gonna turn Florida into the reddest Democrats possible. It seems they're gonna be like, we have to get like anti-Cuban, pro-blockade.
Google Claude Pepper.
No,
I'm serious. Like, you want it, the kind of Democrat they're going to elect is somebody they've already elected. It was a major figure in the 20th century who hasn't gotten his flowers. Claude Pepper, a psycho anti-communist Democrat. That's the man. He also looks kind of funny.
There's a senior citizen center apparently for him.
I think there's a lot named after him.
Oh yeah, he died in 1989. He died before we lived.
Mm-hmm.
Or I lived.
But this is who's coming. Yeah, he was a spokesperson for left liberalism and the elderly, and also the worst parts of American foreign policy.
Yeah.
So that's what's coming. That's the next Democrats. Is we're going back. We're turning back the clock. Yeah, he is a real person.
Claude Pepper. What is Trump cooking? Yeah, they're sending another 10,000. Pentagon ways sending 10,000 more ground troops to the Middle East. I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't think they're. I still think the troop stuff is like.
You think it's a bait and switch? They're gonna negotiate.
It's the one way that if you're talking about sure things aside from number go up on price levels, like if you're talking about sure things that will spoil support for anything to the point that you will not have any political capital left in the tank. Even if you're Donald Trump.
Gas prices skyrocketing.
I mean, it's aside from that, which we're in the process of happening. It's just isn't a one day
soldiers
thing.
Coming back in flag
exactly,
coffins.
man. It's body bags, and it's enough body bags that you can't be like, oh, they all stubbed their toes and died, it's too many that you can't tell the lies that you've been telling.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. At peak, there were 100K troops in Afghanistan. We say 50K troops are so fuck facing an actual organized army versus guerrilla fighters. Yeah. The founder of Anti-Hassan campaignism. Yeah, I saw this. Is very funny. You can kill a man, but not an idea. Jewish insider, Michigan Democratic Senate candidate Mallory McMorrow slams Abdul El-Sayed. Please do not associate Mallory McMorrow. Why are there so many people who are NAFO? I guess there is a lane for these like Twitter guys, right? Like there are like some people out there who are straight up like, oh, I'm I'm doing drone pilot liberalism. I'm NAFO. Like that's like there is a Waronite constituency. It's clearly not like big enough because she got fucking destroyed in her own state by Bernie Sanders. But you know what I mean? Like, especially on Twitter, there's a lot of like Waronite liberals.
I mean, I to me, the 2020 categories aren't like good. Like, I think in a lot of ways, like 2016 categories in some respects are still like more relevant because like 2020 had lanes that I don't feel like exist anymore. And it's just not like I'm not familiar enough with the crosstabs and stuff about like how support breaks other ways. But to me, when I think of the people who were part of like Team Hillary as opposed to Team Bernie on a generational level, and how so many of those people I know who were just like so dyed in the wool for Hillary, they were with her in 2016. Have become very different people in their political consciousness, and that to me remains the kind of like it is like a consciousness shift on that level, as sort of like a ex candidate voter or whatever. Like that to me has remained like the salient one, and the one that's like being disrupted. Because I think we're in this clearly transitory period, right? Where, we don't know. I mean, like, who is the next tribune of the left? There's no, Bernie's not doing the next cycle, et cetera. Like what? So everything's in flux right now.
Your favorite homunculus has resorted to watching Fear clips to try to get owns off.
Oh, let's go.
Wow. While sitting in front of the trans flag, Hasan the Hun proudly declared his favorite flag was the Hezbollah flag.
It's wow. While sitting in front of the trans flag, Hasan the Hun proudly declared his favorite flag was the Hezbollah flag. Talk about Islamic furry terrorism. It's remarkable that Summerlee refuses to disavow Hassan Piker and is excited to share the stage with him and Abdul Al-Sayed. Why would anyone vote Democrat in November? And then like he leans into the camera to turn it off and forgets to edit it out.
Yeah. Speaking of crosstabs, yeah, Grant Plattner versus Susan Collins has a fucking 7-point differential now. Holy fuck. Susan Collins only secures the 50 to 59. Wait. The age 50 to 59 bracket is the only one that's favorable to Collins. What the fuck happened in that age bracket?
That's a really good question. I mean, my assumption with the 60s which I understand, is just that like those are people on fixed income. And like it's not been the case recently, but historically, people on fixed income, retirees, et cetera, people dependent on Social Security were like considered like a historic Democratic constituents.
Everyone's saying lead poisoning.
Lead generation.
It's the lead generation.
I was gonna get to like I think that's Gen X, but I wasn't sure about the math in my head. That's
By the
hilarious.
Way, female Plattner.
Oh yeah, no, this has been noted. This phenomenon has been identified, I believe.
What like is it?
I think it's just that like I think it remains that it's like ladies woke, men chud. Like
yeah. But he's so chud coded. He's the king of think like a woke, look like a chud, act like a chud, think like a woke.
No, it's real like the guy from How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
Yeah, exactly. Full poll. Grant Plattner 55%, Janet Mills.
Oh yeah, and he's been. I guess I saw somebody comment. I didn't verify this with the dates myself, but apparently like some of these positive numbers for Plattner against Mills, like they've been marking improvements over the period of time that she's gone negative against him, which may also be like talk about 2016 style political campaigning, making your opponent look good by when you went negative.
Yeah, U.S. Senate. Maine 2026, Grant Plattner 48%, Susan Collins 41% as the incumbent. Janet Mills at 46%, Susan Collins at 43%. Yeah, I mean Plattner has a better chance in front of fucking Collins, and she's not making it out of that primary. It's fucking awesome to see. Thank you for tanking Plattner's attacks. Jewish Insider's focus on you. Yeah, Jewish Insider I think is like spent most of their bandwidth attacking me this past week.
I mean, well,
that's unbelievable. I'm a fucking Twitch streamer, dude. That's so crazy.
I mean, but it's like in there. I mean, level one, these are like clearly we're dealing with some real,
Here's Mallory McMorrow's campaign finance coach here, claiming Veterans Day for her own German Nazi war criminal grandfather. What an incredible post. Wait, what?
What? I'm sorry, what?
What? Happy Veterans Day to all my family and friends who serve. Without you, America would not be here today. Interesting story. I did not talk about. She said for the veterans on both sides.
He was one of the first people in my life that accepted me as gay when I was. Sorry, is this? I need. Okay, before I commit to believing that this is real, I'm gonna need some verification because this is like too much. This is too much. It's sorry. My Nazi grandfather, who I'm praising on Veterans Day, also accepted me for being gay. I'm sorry. I need to see somebody like. I need to know that this is real.
He escaped to Brazil with my father after Germany lost in World War II and then made their way to Detroit where they spoke no English and worked their way up to provide a stable life for their family.
Also, by the way, if he was like a Nazi, and he came into the United States, like these are one of those reveals that were he's still alive, it would be like, like citizenship revocation stuff. If he was like a Nazi.
Well, we have to ask him for his
opinion
on Israel.
Oh no.
It's real.
And look who got the story. Jewish Insider there.
Oh no, top Michigan Democratic fundraiser shared
Oh,
Veterans
wait, sorry. I
Day.
love that slug. Problematic post.
Oh my God, that was in January.
Oh, you have they're set
yeah,
paywall.
they're on fucking yeah.
Wow, it's real. And
Oh my God, it was Jewish Insider that broke it. Oh,
my Nazi. I don't know.
This is literally the problem with AIPAC. They're so horny to just like disparage anyone that they perceive as like even a
Look,
minor.
I don't know if this one came from AIPAC. I don't know if Jewish. I also don't know if Jewish Insider broke the story. They just wrote about it. But like the thing that strikes me about it more than anything, is that like
McMorrow campaign fundraiser apologizes.
like I can't. Again, I'm just like it's more than anything. It's the father accepted me for being gay. Like that's the like.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's like.
By the way,
I need to like go take a walk. Wow.
Pro-Nazi posting, problematic post. Hasan Piker has a long track record of commending and excusing terrorism. He routinely uses his platform to spread anti-Jewish tropes, amplify propaganda from designated terrorist groups, and promote toxic anti-Zionism. Toxic anti-Zionism.
Toxic anti-Zionism.
Yeah. Despite a backdrop of intensifying anti-Semitism, Piker does all this, not only unapologetically, but proudly. Dr. Abdul El-Sayed's decision to host campaign rallies with Piker is not just alarming, it's absolutely shocking. Wait, that's ChatGPT, right? You think that's ChatGPT? This kind of reads like ChatGPT. Anyway, it reflects a broader trend, the dangerous normalization of anti-Semitism in our politics. That this is happening in Michigan, where Temple Israel targeted a violent anti-Semitic attack less than 2 weeks ago, makes it even more egregious. If the attacker had succeeded, it could have been the worst mass killing of children in U.S. history. Thank you, Rep. Haley Stevens and Senator Slotkin and Mallory McMorrow. Damn, Brad Schneider doesn't even get a fucking mention.
Well, it's because they're the Michigan ones.
Yeah, it's
as
true.
I learned yesterday.
Yeah, for speaking out with clarity and principle. Of course, the grandpa accepted her being gay. The Nazis were gay as fuck.
Okay, the Nazis were gay as fuck, but the most famous gay Nazi, he died in the Night of the Long Knives. So, you know, it goes both ways.
Wait,
Unlike the gays.
what the fuck? Jews, I beg you, buy guns, buy ammo, train, carry, do
Oh
it
no,
now.
this guy, he's a click farmer. He's you can ignore it. He posts extreme stuff. He's not worth it.
He wants to kill Cameron Kasky.
Yeah. Well,
famous school shooting survivor.
That is actually really funny to do. Like, I'm going to buy guns to target, and then it's like, oh wait, fuck, I'm saying this about a person who's like the reason he's famous.
That's crazy.
That is wild. That's a little oopsie.
When is Jonathan Greenblatt actually going to combat real anti-Semitism? Never, because he's like, if I don't foment anti-Semitism, I don't have a job, is the way he's thinking, I think. Because the way he's moving, he's constantly leaning in and feeding into anti-Semitism. Anyway, that's what a time.
Oh, did you see the this thing from Portland?
What the fuck? That's awesome. When is Greenblatt going to be on stream? I think he would perish if he just stood next to me. He would explode out of anger.
I mean, that's a pretty good debate challenge. Like Jonathan
I would do it.
Greenblatt,
I would do
debate
it.
the motion Hasan Piker is anti-Semitic.
I would love doing that.
You heard the man.
I would love to do that.
You heard the man. Click Farmers, Jewish Insider reporter who's watching this because your bosses are making you watch everything. Here's the story. Hasan Piker challenges Jonathan Greenblatt to
The
debate.
left is a huge growing anti-Semitism problem, and it's sad to see it happening in every facet of leftist media. Okay, why are you bringing it up here where it literally has never happened and does not happen, and I actively combat it? And this is outside of the point of like the far greater problem, in my opinion, and perhaps I'm wrong, but the far greater problem is not like the growing anti-Semitism problem in the left media, but it's the ongoing unconditional support that we offer to Israel, even at a time when people are just like, why the fuck did we go to war? Like, I feel like there's a bigger problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's not to say that anti-Semitism is not a problem, but like there's, you know, this is ridiculous. So matching both of those things up against one another as though like the emphasis should be on trying to fucking claw out anti-Semitism out of anti-Zionist sentiments is absolutely self-defeating. It's insane, and it makes people more anti-Semitic.
I gotta bounce.
See, right after I said that, he's like, I'm out of here.
Well, it's because I'm tired of defending you, dude. Your anti-Semitism, it's been getting to me since I sat down.
Wait, what? This guy's in Netanyahu is such a clown. He said that in Asmongold's chat.
World's most organized liberal Zionist.
Yeah.
I'll
What
see you
is
tomorrow
this?
at the thing.
Candidates that post more about Twitch streamer Hasan Piker than they do about genocide, war crimes, and ICE don't deserve your vote. If you want lawmakers to focus on saving lives and protecting families, I could use your help to get to Congress. Damn. Now they're... Oh, I don't want to say right now out loud, but are you leaving right now? Or are you gone the whole night?
I'm going back tomorrow morning.
Oh, word. Oh, word. Yeah.
Bye, chat.
All right. Noah's out. But yeah, I probably got to prep. Anyway. Where were we? I like how Greenblatt couldn't even accuse you of being anti-Semite. He opts for toxic anti-Semitism. What kind of Turk are you that you do not walk out your guess? I'm a Twitch streamer that's streaming on Twitch to currently 27,000 people. Brother, you need to push this McMorrow shit. Ask her if she will condemn AOC and Bernie and Dearborn's mayor if she thinks you are Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I don't think that's a good line of attack. Okay. I don't find it to be the best line of attack. Where does he go? Does he just chill on the couch? No, man. What's the best line of attack? The best line of attack would be to say that you're creating you're smearing yet another avowed anti-Zionist. You're smearing yet another avowed anti-Zionist with these cynical smears at a time when anti-Semitism has become a massive problem in U.S. discourse, when Hasan is consistently engaged in advocacy against anti-Semitism, and that it betrays the severity of the crisis. It does you no justice at all. It undermines and belittles the issue. It's really disturbing. As an American politician who cares about anti-Semitism, as I do about every other form of bigotry, I find this not only distasteful, but I find it quite problematic. I find it quite dangerous. We must stop conflating the actions of a state that has conducted a genocide, that maintains an apartheid, with American Jews, you know? Anyway, bye-bye. Do check your DMs in like 2 days. I just selfish. I am trying to get John K with one of our MPs and a high up a security company. NZ has your back. I know a fucking consultant that watches you. He's like, yeah, I found this interesting. Yes. Usually people who are immigrants at a hospital. What? When people who hate Israel see these articles, they don't know who the fuck you are, but they will see an accusation of anti-Semitism and get turned off. Too many online people know you. Yeah. Do you have a farce sound effect on there? Turning it into a referendum on you is exactly what they want, in my opinion. Defending you is tough, though. The America Deserves 9/11 will distract from the conversation. Blowback is hard to explain. No, it's not. Get the fuck out of here. There are ways of having that conversation every single time, okay? You just say that American intervention, like, you don't even have to defend it. You could be like, Hasan himself has apologized for the comment. That's it. That's all you need to say. Okay, what else is new? Look at what Zoran did. Zoran was like, yeah, I don't agree with him on that. Not only do most Americans understand the concept of blowback, but also this constant quote mining is totally fucking insincere, and it rubs people the wrong way. Yeah, I saw this. I don't follow Hasan closely, but the fact that he enrages the worst third way APAC transparently Islamophobic racists definitely makes me want to retweet him more. The way he induced the rage actually made me curious to listen to him in the last few weeks, so I popped into his stream, and while painting my kitchen and doing chores, I generally find myself in alignment with most of what he says, and I'm just a normal middle-aged punk rocker. Yeah, it's not hard to defend you at all. That chat is just green, I think. I fuck up no-siddle blue maggot every time they try getting away with saying some sideways shit about you. Yeah, I don't think it's that hard. You just say the truth, man. Just say the truth. You can always lean into the truth. That's it. Look at his ass too. It's also extra easy to defend me, especially now, because most people's positions are now much closer to mine. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to miss my flight, but I gotta go. But yeah, there is this 30-minute compilation of me calling out anti-Semitism. And wait, did I retweet it? No, I did not. I'm flying out to New York tomorrow.